Hey guys, my name's Sam, founder of Frameshift, co-founder of Samuel Madeleine, co-founder of Sportova. We're here at the Sportova showroom right now in Connecticut. Sorry for the mess we're about to be opening, but we're gonna go through Frameshift, um, and it's gonna be a full tutorial, long tutorial showing exactly how you get from zero to learning how to do a full room design. And in this video, we're going to go from an empty room like this to a designed room like this, where we pick products, we put them in a floor plan, and then we create a visual like this. Here's another version of that, and then a night version. And then we're also going to make a couple videos like this. So let's get into it. All right, so we're just going to jump right in. This is the home page. You're going to want to sign up. As you can see here, couple before and afters. This is sort of what we're going to be doing, an empty room to a designed room. Um, and then we're going to make a little video here out of our result. This is the layout mode, which is basically where you're going to start to build a room, design it with a floor plan. So essentially what happens is you upload a room, and then it can be filled, you can empty it, and then you can start adding products just by bringing in a product and then arranging it on the floor plan, and then we can start creating renders. So let's just do it and you'll see how it goes. Actually, let's just do that right now. So we'll create a test project, and then we're going to go in and make a new room. So that's what the room is called, one test, or we should just say, living room, for instance. And then we're going to upload a photo of a room. So what we like to do for this imagery is take rooms generated from Midjourney, and have that room architecture. And then what we do is we empty it, and then we can start designing it. But in a real project, what you can do is take a render or take a photo, input it into the software, and then what's going to happen is the AI is going to read the room, and it's going to generate a floor plan right here. So you can see we're creating room. Um, and down here you can see the floor plan is generating. What we're going to do for this purpose is we're just going to hit empty room, and that is going to submit a job here to empty this room. So we're going to we're going to remove all this furniture here. So basically we're working with an empty canvas. And as you can see, um, a floor plan was generated of this space. So now what we can do is bring in products, which we have already added here, onto the floor plan and arrange them as we want them. So yeah, so here we go. So now so this is our base image now, which we've just emptied. And we're gonna be working off of this image as a base image. So every single time we hit generate, we are going to be adding products in our arrangement on the left-hand side to this image. And it's going to be dynamically creating a fresh image every time based on our floor plan. As you can see, this floor plan is not exactly correct. Something we're going to work on to make it a little bit more exact, but it doesn't really matter when you are creating the floor plan. It's kind of going to get the gist of it. So let's just start going here. In our products section here, let me just show you what it looks like to bring in a product. So if we just go to, let's say, our rh.com, and we just take a product image, let's just say living room, fabric seating, sofas, and we take just their regular cloud sofa here. And we're going to get an angle shot of it just for looks. We're going to open up this product and we're just going to save it. And then to add that, we just hit add, bring it in, file, and now you can see it's generating, it's taking the image and it's generating a top-down DWG drawing of that sofa. And that's going to take, 30 seconds or so to add. We can sort by last 10 minutes to be able to find it. And then we can just hit refresh, and then here's our white sofa. And what we can do is edit this. So this time it actually did not do a top-down view, which happens, so we can regenerate. So show a direct top-down view. And we can wait for that to go. But what you can do is you can click the sofa, right? And then you can twist it and show that this is where we want it, right? So then we can hit duplicate and do another one. And now we've got two sofas theoretically arranged in this image. You can imagine them both looking at each other here. And so you can see this actually did rearrange the top view here. So what we're going to do is delete this, and then re-add it. Add this sofa there, duplicate, add this sofa here. And then we're going to go back to all of our images, delete that, and we're going to go to rugs, and we're going to pick one of these rugs that we already have in here. You can kind of see what it looks like here. And what's important is that we want to make sure when you import a product, it's going to automatically put it into a category. But it's important that a rug is categorized as a rug, and art is categorized as art, and lighting is categorized as light. It's going to help the AI image generate where you want it to be. So here's our rug. We're just going to quickly add it here, and we can increase its size and kind of just show you, what it's going to look like. In reality, our room is more vertical here. So, this kind of gives you an idea of what the layout's going to be. The layout is not going to be exact. What you want to do is show it what you want, but think about how it's going to be arranged in this room. Okay? You'll get an idea when I do it. So next, let's add a coffee table. And these are all coffee tables that I've already imported. And then we're going to do a side table, which would be this brown accent table we're going to do here. We're going to do two of them behind the sofas. And then we're going to do some lighting. So floor lamps is actually, we're going to do table lamps as well. So we're going to add two table lamps. See these added to here, and we're going to drag them on top of the tables. And then what we're going to do is add one more chair here. So let's just do this beige, this slipper chair from Samuel Madeleine, and put it right here. Or let's just render and see what happens. So, or generate. We're going to hit generate, and you're going to see that it's working in the background. And we have a bunch of different options here. P2, P3, P4, P5. These are all different prompts to give to the AI. So depending on the room, each of these may or may not work better. So what I like to do is just run them all. And you can see I now have 5 jobs processing. A job takes about, a minute or so to get done. And you can see up here, that's just subtracting 50 credits from my credit count. So that was our first result. Not exactly what we were looking for, but you can see how realistic this looks. And we're taking these exact products. So this is the RH Cloud sofa that we inputted. This is the exact coffee table that we inputted. This is the exact chair that we inputted. Boom, look at this. Now we've got a second image that was created in this P4 enhanced prompt. And this is pretty close to what we wanted already. And it's fully 100% photorealistic. We brought in products in 2 seconds, and now we're essentially building a render room in no time. And we can click this to view it in full screen. and we can scroll through with our arrows. We only have two done. Here's our third one, and it's looking like it's adding an extra table here. Yeah, look at this. I mean, it's just next level image content generation in a matter of minutes. This process was sped up a little bit because we had these products added and uploaded already, but so it's going to take you some time to bring the products in, but it's only a matter of screenshotting things. You just need to screenshot or download a product image and upload it, and that takes 30 seconds, and then it's in there, and you can keep using it over and over and over again and adding it to the floor plan, and then create images like this. So we have our 5 results. You can see here, up here is this 2-path refined. You're not going to see this, but this is the name of the prompt. So all the prompts created some sort of different result, and we can arrow through and see all of these results. So this image, for instance, like you're going to get images like this where the AI didn't listen to exactly what we wanted. That's why we run multiple at the same time within these prompts to kind of get the process going. And what you can do also to try to make the process a little bit better is this style button right here. You can provide some instructions. So what I like to do sometimes is basically give like the few big pieces. So we can say like 2 sofas facing each other on the right and left walls. And then that just adds into the prompt every time when something's generated to sort of help the AI realize like what exactly we want. But in this case, we kind of got some good results already without even adding that in. Um, so, probably our best result was, our most accurate result was this one here, or this one where, we added an extra table here. But the idea of the layout mode is to create a bunch of variations of an image. And then you can see up here we have gallery, studio, and playground. So these are different sections. And when you create an image in here, the next process would be to, you can either download it right away. So I can hit download and this is going to download straight to the computer. This button is add to image sent to gallery. So like this is where you want to send your products that you like. So we like this image. You can see it's green. We sent it. We like this image as well. So let's send this. And then what we're going to do is just flip over to gallery, which is essentially just a collection of images that we like. And now we can click in and start editing these. So on the layout mode, the image is generating from scratch every time based on your base image, which is here. You can see this is the base image. Every single time we're hitting generate, we're giving the floor plan, we're giving the instructions, we're giving all the products, the product images, and we're generating a fresh image. And that's what's leading to this, the variation in all the renders, which is good to like get what you want. You want to do it a bunch of times to find exactly what you want. You want to make some changes. You want to add a new product. You want to put it into the floor plan and do something new. You can. But then when you get an image you like, you bring it into gallery, and now you're kind of like, you're going to iterate off the image here. So this is like where you make fine-tuned changes. So let's just show you. So when we click into an image, it's basically you just open in Studio, and you can see we just go to the Studio mode. And Studio mode is essentially a place where you're doing like Photoshop edits. So there's all these tools at the top here, which we can do to create a new version of the image. So we can make small changes, we can iterate, we can swap things out. Let's just do the first one. The first tool that we have up here is the add tool. Let's add a floral arrangement. Add on top of coffee table. Add to canvas. So it's essentially we're just giving it an image, and then we're going to kind of just show where we want it to be. We kind of want it to be in this section here. we'll see what happens with the things on top of this coffee table. But you know, we'll see. So that when you did that, that was a pending edit. You can do multiple things at the same time, but generally you want to stick with one thing. And then you hit generate, and now this is going to generate, and this is going to happen in the background, so we can wait for the results here. And you can see we did get a result already, and boom, there's your result. That's not the best result. So we're gonna you can do better than this. So let's go back and see what else we can do here. So let's go edit mode. Edit mode, we can essentially tell the image what we want, and then we can give it reference images too. So let's just say let's just say we want to change the rug. So we can click the rug, and we can hit change color, we can hit change fabric. Let's just actually do the sofa. Change sofa to a beige colored fabric. And if we want, we can give it a reference image to sort of really nail what we want. But in this case, we're just going to do one little color thing. And you can see pending edits is one here. So we can do another edit, and we can just say, we can do the same thing here. Just copy this. Do the same, and then we'll generate, and we'll wait and see what happens. Okay, so you can see this happened. Which is annoying is that we have these two ones and two here's. That's a little bit of an error, something that we will work on. But boom, you can see 2 seconds, we change the color. Now let's go back to our original image and we'll show you more tools. So let's just hit replace. So now we're gonna do, in this, you can see here there's a little bit of instruction. Click on the item you want to replace and then select a replacement product. So let's just say we're gonna replace this chair with another chair and see what happens. Let's do this brown armchair here. And we can give it instructions or we can just do it and send it. Yep. So we swapped the chair. We did lose a bit of our aspect ratio. That's an improvement we're going to be making as well, as trying to keep these aspect ratios, but that's going to sometimes happen. But you can see within 2 seconds, we kept it. This is the point of the studio mode, is we kept our original image, which we liked, but we wanted to swap one thing out. We wanted to make a couple changes, but we didn't want to regenerate the whole room and hope that the changes, hope that we get a good result. We just wanted to make one thing change. Boom, we swapped out the chair, and now we have that chair looking photorealistic, in the right spot, pointing in the right direction. All we had was an angled shot of the chair from a photo online. And now we have it added with realistic shadows and everything, and it looks like real life. Another tool is going to be your chat tool. So chat essentially is the same thing as edit, but you don't actually select anything. So let's just say we can just generally just tell the image what we want. We can say, change the scene to a nighttime scene. Don't change anything else about the room. So essentially we're in daylight now, and we're going to tell it to show what it looks like at night. And look at that. You even added a little fire in the fireplace. So now we got our nice and moody little scene here. And the one thing to note is that the more you iterate on one specific image over and over and over again, you're going to lose a little bit of quality, which is something we're going to work to improve as well down the line. But that's just something to note. So you can see, this is the result here of this image, and you can kind of tell in here you're getting a little bit of graining and whatnot, because we had a base image, we edited it once, and then we just edited the edited result again. So that's going to add a little bit to the degradation over time. We do have an upscale button here, which can help, but that's just something to be aware of. You can see down here, image info. This is the 169th generation, the date, the time, created with Studio Render, and this is the prompts that we used. and then we can see it was based on 168 and 164. So it kind of creates a daisy chain. So you can just quickly go back to 168 and show this is the product, this is the image that nighttime scene was created out of. And then we can also click back to 164, which is the original image, which, as we know, was a vertical image, which we lost. The other thing we can do is quickly hit G on the keyboard and just go 169, enter, and go right back. But let's go back to our original image and continue with the functions. So smart delete is essentially allowing us to just delete certain things. So you can see here, draw a lasso around the area you want to remove. What's going to happen is you're going to draw an area around. It's going to identify what you want to delete, armless slipper chair, and then just hit remove, and that's going to happen immediately. Okay, and you can see here, we get a full screen result on this, and we can see this is just the chair is gone, and we have a perfect looking image without it. Okay, very easy. We can just hit compare and contrast. That's what it looked like, and now we have this gone. So now we're back to this original one. Again, we can hit crop. So this is just kind of like a free crop tool here. It's going to take the original aspect ratio, and you can hit crop and then apply crop to this one, or you can apply crop and save as new. And then we have upscale, which essentially is just one button to try to increase the quality of an image that you might want to increase. For some reason, it might be the quality is decreased or whatever. You can ask the AI to upscale it and not change anything. And then we have this move tool, which is going to be similar to the smart delete. So we're going to, here we go. We have draw lasso around the item you want to move, and then it's going to identify it. So we want to move this armless accent chair. And then we're going to say draw a lasso around the destination area. So we're going to go here. And then we're going to hit move. And that might be a little bit funky because it might be faced the same direction. So maybe not the best example, but this is occasionally, you can use this for, like a side table or whatever, or something else. And it moved it. Look at that. So again, another example of just a small little edit on an image that you like. You want to make some quick tune-ups, you want to add something, you want to delete something, you can do that all inside of here. And then finally, as I mentioned, we're going to create a video. Basically, we're going to use the image and we're going to create a video. So we're just going to tell it what we want. So we're going to go, let's say we want a vertical image, 9:16, which is just like the TikTok size. And we're going to say super slow zoom into the space. And that's it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do that again, and we're going to say, these are just all examples. We're going to add a little more info here, telling you sort of the techniques and prompts that you can do. We can also do stationary camera, a well-dressed business woman walks into the room and sits on the sofa. And we're going to do that in vertical again. And we're going to hit create. And then one more time, maybe we'll do a horizontal video. And these are going to crop the image, so just be aware of that. Let's go stationary camera time lapse from day to night. And then we're going to hit create. So if you go back to the gallery, you can see we have 3 videos being created here. These are more expensive. As you can see, it just burned through a bunch of credits. Those 40 credits each. But it's going to give you an 8-second video, and the quality is quite good, and it's going to keep all your products in there. So it's another way to bring your scene to life, right? So here we go. We have a result, and we have a slow zoom into the scene, which is pretty cool. So essentially we went from, 164, 65. We went from our original image, which is a blank canvas, to adding specific products that we wanted, creating this beautiful image. And then we now have a video, and you can arrow through these as well, bringing that to life. So here's our next one. Now we've added a woman to the scene. Adding a businesswoman, she went down and sat on the sofa. And then finally, our last one was the time lapse, which should be done any second now. And so we're in video. We can't really do anything with the videos other than go back to the main image and regenerate. And then we can hit download up here. That's going to download the MP4 file right to your computer. All right, here's our next one. So you can see it cropped it, and now we are going to evening, which is pretty cool. So you have to play with this a little bit to get exactly what you want. Probably not ideal to have a vertical image and then do a horizontal video because you see it cropped it a fair amount. But that's just all stuff you can test inside of the studio. And inside the studio, there's just classic. You can search tags, you can favorite things, and then you can, go by starred. You can sort by images. You can sort by videos, and you can sort by, your direct uploads. All this. You can upload an image directly. Let's just take this image. It's just a random image, and we can start editing this. So I can literally just go smart delete this table lamp. Boom, it's gone. So you don't even have to do images that you created in the AI. You can just take a random image off the internet, start editing it with AI in Frameshift. So that's the main part of Frameshift. We have layout mode, which is where you build rooms, you start create projects, you add different rooms, you start editing them. So for an interior designer, let's say you have a photo of a room. You can bring it into Frameshift and you can start generating images. So, like in a matter of minutes, you can get a pretty photorealistic look of what your room's going to look like with specific products based on a floor plan. That's easy to create. And then you bring in products, images that you like, you bring into the gallery, which is a way to organize. Studios where you edit them. Open up a product in Studio, use all the tools, create videos, crop, all that. And then finally we have playground mode, which is kind of like a separate section where you can also work with images in more of a chat mode with AI. It's sort of like Chat GPT here, but specifically for image generation, image editing, image creation. An example would be, let's take a product. We're going to take a screenshot of an image and we're going to create a photo shot of it, and then maybe we're going to change the fabric. These are just examples right here what you can do. So generate a product photo of this bench on a gray background, on a gray studio background, and change the fabric to a top color. And we're going to upload the screenshot that we just had here. I don't know if you can see that, but here's our image. You'll see it in a second. And then what we can do is pick how many results it's going to do. So if you just keep this on one, it's just going to create one image. But if you can create multiple at the same time, so we can bulk do this. So you can't do this with ChatGPT or Gemini or whatever. You can only do one at a time. This one, we're going to say, run this 4 times, run this 6 times. It's going to show all 6 results, and then we can iterate off that. So let's run it 4 times. Essentially, it's just going to run this prompt 4 times, and it's going to show us the results, and then we can pick which one we like best. So here we go. And it also tells you how many credits that's going to cost. You can see we have 4 jobs processing now. Here are our 4 placeholders. We just took a screenshot of a product in a room, and now it's generated images. So here we go. Look at that. And you can see they're all slightly different, so you can choose which one you like the best instead of just getting this result and being like, we have actually 4 to choose from. And so what we can do here is we can favorite it, which puts it in like a favorites bucket in playground mode. We can hit download. We can also hit export to gallery, which would be just adding that to our gallery page. And then we can also hit export to products, which is going to add this bench automatically to our products list. So let's just say export to products. That costs 5 credits. And now we're going to be able to use that in layout mode or use that in gallery in the studio. So you can see it's still processing. So we're going to give it a second. The other thing we can do is we can iterate off of each of these. So let's say, we like this version, image 2. We can reference image 2. So change the wood finish of the bench in at image 2 to a dark ebony. And now what we're doing is we are referencing image 2 here. So we're going to use this exact image, not the other ones. And we're telling it just to change, just to do something on that specific image. So now we're just going to hit that. We're going to run that twice and see how that goes. So as that's running, we're going to go back to layout mode. Go back to our thing here. And you can go back to recent and just go last 10 minutes, and you can see here the upholstered wood bench that we just created is now a product that we can add to the floor plan. If it doesn't show up here, it takes a second. You can hit this refresh button. That will make it populate. So now we can click this, and boom, now we have a bench. Let's delete this chair that we had. Put the bench right here. Remember, our floor plan is not exact, but we're just giving the AI a general idea of what we want. So now, like, there's this random door here on the floor plan. Doesn't matter. We're just going to put it right here, and it's going to know that this is where we want it. So now we're going to run this and see what happens. So let's run it a couple times. Let's just run it, all of them, and see what happens. So now we have the 5 jobs processing. All this stuff's happening in the background, so you can go back to another page while you're waiting. All these things are going to take about a minute. So let's go back to the playground. We'll go back to our chat. And remember, we did this change wood finish of the bench to dark ebony. So we're generating 2 images now. We can see it changed the wood finish to dark ebony. So now we can export that to gallery. We can export that to products. Easy peasy. Product Studio. This is a way to do this in bulk. So when you're adding products to the layout mode and you want to add products, it generally works best when you're adding a product that has a clear background, like a product shot. But let's say you have your own antique piece in your house and you want to add it. You can just snap a photo of this, upload it to your computer, bring it into playground mode. If you have a bunch of things, you can either do what we just did here, and this would be you're doing it one at a time, or you can do it in bulk. Let's just imagine we're taking some photos of products in your house. We'll just screenshot, like this is your vintage chair, and then this is your vintage, coffee table that you want to add to Frameshift and see in AI. You can just upload those products from your phone or wherever, go into Product Studio, bulk upload them to here. So these are your 2 images. Product Studio is basically a way to take photos and put them on gray backgrounds in bulk. So this is, you're going to identify, like, this is your marble coffee table. Do you want to keep the products on here? Like, just for instance, like we sort of like those accessories, keep the accessories on the table. Black leather armchair, we don't have to do anything with that. We can choose the background color that we're going to do. We can create multiple variations so we can kind of test which one we like. And then we can, any optional notes, we're going to see our costs and credits here. And we're going to hit generate product shots. And this is just a quick way to get products onto gray background so that we can add it to layout mode and start designing with them. So this is now we have, imagine this is your coffee table at home that you want to add to a room. Here it is, two versions of it, and then we can just hit export to products, and then we can start using that in a Frameshift layout mode design. And same with this. Boom. And then we can also, so you can do that in bulk. So you can just select the two you want and then export to products, or you can download the photos here. And you can also iterate off of these again, like we were doing in playground mode. So let's say we like image 2, add image 2, change leather color to deep blue. And we'll just put that to 1. And then we can hit that, and that will generate another variation, which you can click into and keep iterating off of or save it. So let's go back to layout mode and see what we got here. We're go back to room 14, and here we go. So here's some examples. It got rid of our other sofa. So one thing to note is that the more and more you add, the less accurate this is going to get. Over time, when the next version of this comes out, it's going to get more accurate. But the more products you add, the less precise it's going to be. So don't add too many products. So, you can see like our first generation it just created a whole new view, which is actually not a bad image, but not exactly what we wanted. This one was what we wanted. This one, not so much. This one, not so much. This one, not so much. So you kind of got to play with it a little bit and whatever. So you're going to go through some credits, but credits are pretty cheap in the grand scheme of things when you're able to create photorealistic image with your exact products. When you compare it to rendering or anything else, I mean, it's a no-brainer. So that's the software, and you can see back to the home page. You can start for free. We give you 100 free credits. You just need to sign up, and you can start doing things immediately without adding a credit card. You get 100 free credits to start messing around inside the software. So here's our pricing plan. We have 3 subscriptions, 35 a month, 79 a month, 199 a month. You get these amount of credits per month. This sort of gives you an idea of how many rooms you can do. I'd say it's probably a little bit more than these. And then you can also use the software just buying credit packs. You don't have to do a subscription. You can see the per credit cost is a little bit more if you're buying in a la carte. But we want everyone to be able to use this. You don't have to be locked into any subscription to be able to use the software. So that's it. That's it for this video. Very, very long, 48 minutes now. We're going to cut it down a little bit with some editing. This is my first time doing a video like this, so bear with me. We're going to create a lot more videos like this, tutorials, so people get an idea of exactly how to use this and all the tips and tricks and whatnot to creating beautiful imagery with AI. And more to come. The software is only going to improve in quality and probably decrease in price as well. So thanks. We'll see you around. Have a good one.